that the global industry of supplements is a $200 billion industry globally. And they're anticipating a 20% growth annually over the next 3 years. The US is 53.58 billion of that and is expected to be 70 billion by 2030. Hello out there, and welcome to another episode of Girls Gone Gritty. We are so excited that you've joined us today. I love this time of year. We're starting to feel a little bit of spring, sort of, I think, in the Northeast. It's been all over the place with the weather, but gearing up for Easter this weekend is always a great time with family. I'm sad that a couple of my kids can't be home. I know in our listening audience, we are not always together where our children are in life, but they're always in our heart. And hopefully we'll all have a good Easter week. What do you guys got going on this week?
Got a little more lacrosse. I'm going down for senior night. Chasey has her senior game. So I was celebrating with all the seniors. And P.S., one thing she said to me this weekend that you're going to appreciate. Why isn't Mrs. Berenius been to one game? And she was our lucky charm. And then she heard that you've been to Abby's and she was like,
I'm sorry, Chasey Boyle. I love you so much. You have so many games that I'm trying to get to one.
I'm ready for lax to be over. Gotta be honest. It's pulling my mojo from me. Weekends are not as great as much as I love watching my kids, but when they're not winning and there's a little stress that revolves around a lot of it, it's not as fun. I want a happy, carefree, fun girls' weekend, please.
And it's also frigid.
And it's freezing. Frigid. The sidelines have not been a blast to be on. And yes, all that. But I am psyched because I get to bring Chase home with me, and Abby's coming home. The only person that's not going to be home is Mackenzie. And we'll refer to this song that I picked at the end of the episode, and you'll understand.
Woo! Well, I spent the weekend really warm. It was the perfect weather to be sitting watching the Masters on Saturday and Sunday and watching Rory McIlroy win a career Grand Slam. He'd been waiting 11 years for it. So I was sitting at the edge of my seat. I swear it was like a Hollywood movie. Oh my God.
You almost botched it.
He almost botched it.
Whoa.
But no one in the history can get 4 double bogeys. And when it was just a nail biter, he had so many highs. His highs were high, his lows were lows. There were like 5-foot putts that he was missing. And you're just on the edge of your seat. But that was fun. And I think we're having Easter at our house. So we have a busy week now that I sat on the couch this week, and I haven't done that in a very long time. Did soccer games and things like that, but super excited.
Oh, you know what I'm super excited for? The top 5.
Well, you know how our number 5 coming in, you have famous person or someone who's very well read to do your commencement speech. Well, Kermit the Frog is coming to the University of Maryland to give the commencement speech. So
I was at the University of Maryland this weekend for a lacrosse game, and I thought, oh my God, if I was a grad and that was going to be my hello, hypo, Kermit the Frog here doing the commencement speech, I might be upset. But Jim Henson did graduate from Maryland, and there's a big statue right in the middle of the university of him sitting next to Kermit. So who better than to give the speech?
Well, I do think Kermit the Frog has some pretty good insight. I used to love watching them grow up, but we also joked when we looked at this story that SpongeBob SquarePants and Patrick Starr were the commencement speech at the University of Vermont back in 2012.
Coming in at number 4 is live from London. It's Saturday night. And yes, SNL wants to bring SNL to London. They did a White Lotus skit this weekend, and they really kind of went south. They made fun of their lead actress, who might have maybe slightly Mrs. Ed teeth, and it really goes so well.
She's also from the UK, and they take their teeth very seriously there.
Do they, though?
Well, I mean, some are here and some are there, and I don't think I'd want to be a dentist or an orthodontist there. I don't think that you would.
Well, if you're an orthodontist, you'd make a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. But
they did an apology.
Yes.
So to expand into the London scene, I think insulting one of their bigger actresses might have been not the right way to go.
Hey, if you're bringing SNL into something, you have to have skin like a rhino, because they make fun of everything. Number 3, happiness is rising in Iceland. 3 keys are nature, gender equality, and deep-rooted sense of resilience. And I love Iceland. It's absolutely gorgeous. I was there shooting a TV show Just the people are beautiful and the weather's nice. And
The weather changes every 5 minutes, Dave.
yes,
They're like, I don't think I could be in darkness for like 24 hours. I'm very happy that they're happy. And I think I'd be happy if it was light all day long and night long, maybe.
the summer solstice is one of the biggest parties ever.
I'll look at that.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun. And they make the best out of everything. All the goods are organic. They grow a lot of things in greenhouses. They figure out a way to make it work because it's not an easy place to live.
No,
Beautiful place to visit.
it is. But
Happiest place 3 years running.
when I was there, we went and did a piece on the cute baby puffins. There's a rock and they come and they mate for life. They will take off and they always come back to their one spot to mate. And then you go to eat dinner and they're like, "Do you want puffin fritters?" I was like, "What?" The cute little birds that I just did a piece on. Well, coming in at number 2, Minecraft is already mining money, coming in with the highest gross revenues of 2025 so far.
I don't have boys. Maybe I am not familiar with this Lego looking kind of character, movie, whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, the universe of Minecraft has been in my life forever. And the technology's only gotten better. So the visuals only gotten better. But it basically Legos meet video games. And the fact that they've now made a live action movie with the likes of Jack Black is great, is perfect actually, because it really does. It's like reminiscent of what's the Jack Black movie, Jumanji.
Love
Like
him.
it's very similar in that same easy, fun morality on some level story that the kids can identify. And I really do like the game for them to build things. Like it's
I
a
just
great.
don't like the name Minecraft. I can't visualize what that means in my brain. You know?
Well, all the obsessed teenagers destroyed the theaters all across the country. So
terrible.
yeah,
That's a sad state of the American parent.
Actually,
I don't blame the children. I blame the parents.
well, coming in at number 1, it is the time. It's that tax season time. Now, have you claimed your 4-legged friends on your taxes?
Fur.
well, now that everybody has like a companion,
Service dog.
that is one of the categories that you really can potentially write off, along with anything that goes hand in hand with taking care of your service dog, which is on every airplane that I
Everywhere. We used
and
to
a
do.
big dog.
I actually have a legitimate issue with the number of service. I know that there's
A lot
people
of them are real.
that have
That's
service
most of them are
animals,
fake.
right? But exactly, like just go get a jacket and a vest and like bring your dog.
That's all you have to do. My friend would bring Jacoy on the plane and say it's his service dog, and because he's a big giant wolf, and it was fine.
We do need
Accompany
this as a
me.
deduction on the from the IRS though, because they are dependents. They are dependent on us for giving them good lives, taking them to the doctors, putting them on medication, having surgical procedures. If we're paying for insurance, somewhere there should be a number once reached that becomes a deduction because we treat them like family members.
Well, and it would probably help everyone, obviously, that could take the deduction, but it would also help people not have to give up their dog because of cost, right? If I can defray some costs to have a dog, if I have to make hard choices in my life, that it makes it a little easier for the the regular person to have a dog or a cat.
Average expense for a dog is $1,200.
Unless you have one of our dogs, keeps having surgeries.
Well, speaking of additional things you're going to put in your diet, what are we talking about today? I think it's supplements.
Supplements and latest trends on every level and detoxing. This is a gigantic business and it goes in multiple directions. We're going to try to tell you what we're doing personally, what we've tried, what might have worked, what hasn't worked, that kind of stuff.
Well, the crazy thing is that the global industry of supplements is a $200 billion industry globally, and they're anticipating a 20% growth annually over the next 3 years. The U.S. is 53.58 billion of that, and is expected to be 70 billion by 2030. Growth is just continuing to grow. So when I started to look at who's in this industry, it really is a business, because guess who are our top 3 leading manufacturers? Nestle, who own everything. You've heard that on our food podcast, on our additives podcast that you can reference back to. International Fragrance and Flavors, a flavor and additive company, comes in at number 2. And BASF, which is a pesticide and herbicide and fungal company, comes in at number 3. So one little caveat that I'll say in the beginning of this segment is that make sure you really research where you're getting anything you put in your body, because the companies that are doing this are aligned with other things that are anti-health and wellness, which, we talked about the flywheel in an earlier episode. We've talked about the way companies continue to make revenue, and you need to know what they're doing and who they're eating up because it's competition for them.
Do not rely on Amazon reviews. Research shows that in March of 2019, there were 1.8 million new unverified reviews, with an average of 99.6 of them being 5-star reviews. Most of these reviews are from people paid to write them. So if you're Googling your supplements and you're trying to find out all your information on Google, you are not getting the correct information. So definitely consult your doctor, whoever you're seeing for any type of, you don't need a prescription, but you do need to talk to somebody, a diet, nutritionist, somebody.
So I'm vax injured, as you ladies know. And my doctor has me on 30 supplements, trying to get the spike proteins out of your system or stop them from reproducing and then building up your ATP. And they're very specific ones that I have to get. If you go get the store brand, go get the one off the shelf at the food town. It doesn't have the same pure ingredients as the one that you would get from Life Extension or one of these other brands that are well known. There's better ingredients. Formulations. Thank you, Jen. Again, look, there's a vitamin for everything. My sister was in the vitamin sales business. She worked for Nutraceutical for 18 years. And I need this vitamin. She goes, why do you need that vitamin? Do you know what it does? I'm like, my doctor said to take it. Why don't you educate yourself on that first? Oh, okay. And with myself, when I had those 30 vitamins, took them 2 years, 3 years, and I said, cutting them in half. And you kind of, when you're taking supplements, take them and see how they feel for a month. You don't necessarily have to take them all, just slowly add them. But like you said, you have to research and get the good ones.
Okay, for me, example,
right.
I'm taking curcumin because I'm
turmeric. It's the best vitamin that you can take for an anti-inflammatory purposes. It helps with cancer. It helps with everything. I do turmeric teas. It is, if you could take a multivitamin and turmeric, that is lights out what you should.
Increases your memory. And there's so many things, but there's also some fallacies there because of where the turmeric is being sourced. And is it getting, falsified with color agents? So it's scary. Any type of vitamin that you take, it can come in a plastic jar, come in a glass jar. It's much better for you to consume vitamins that come in glass containers because now you're putting fantastic vitamins in your body that have the micro particles of plastic. So it's so hard to keep track of all of this. It's overwhelming. But if you're going to suddenly be conscientious enough to try to start taking supplements to make your health better, then really do it right and know exactly what it is that you're putting in your body.
Well, and the first step, if you're adding anything of that caliber to your diet, you should be talking to your doctor first. Talk to a trusted clinician, a trusted health professional that is going to say, well, what are we solving? Don't just put a bunch of pills in your mouth. There's arguments that the multi-pill, like the daily dose, doesn't really do anything. Harvard Health came out with a study that said, don't waste your money on the multivitamins because you should be getting all your nutritional value from your food.
Right.
And if you're not, then figure out what you're deficient in and take that to supplement. And then the sad state of that is quality of our food and the nutritional value of our food is going down. So if we look at top 3 manufacturers who are in this vitamin game, they're the ones that are making the soil degrade and our food become crap. And they're the ones selling the the pesticides and the herbicides, the fungal stuff. And you need all those in a healthy microcosm. You need those all in the soil to grow good food. But I would see what you're deficient in before you just.
There's one called Grunes. Have you heard of Grunes?
Yes.
Yeah. And those are terrific. Dee Dee started taking it. Jeff started taking it. There's one for littles and there's one for adults. And it's literally vegetables in a gummy. And Jeff says he actually feels a difference from them. So just research.
I started juicing celery. I'm not a juicer. I had to buy a juicer to start juicing celery. This is a perfect food. What I will tell you about celery that I did not know is, first of all, it's very affordable. Secondly, it's readily available for the most part. I'm just going to read a few things that it does because it is a fix-all perfect food. Acid reflux, acne, Alzheimer's and dementia, anxiety, autoimmune, bladder infections, bloating, brain fog. I mean, this is just a little tiny bit. It's not going to fix you, but it is certainly going to help. And I've got kids that have autoimmune issues. It can help with MRSA. It can help with rosacea. It can help with heart. It is a superfood that combats pretty much anything and everything across the spectrum. And I have this book here. It's called Celery Juice, the most powerful medicine of our time, healing millions worldwide. If any of you are watching us, for those of you that aren't, Anthony William, he is the medical medium. And it's going back to basics where you're not needing to add anything else to it. It is celery juice. I keep it in the refrigerator. It's cold. I drink 8 ounces of it every single day for inflammation, for all my personal issues that might be menopause related. My husband's drinking it for his. It's something that I cannot express enough. Everybody should be doing this.
So I have a question. I'm not a juicer, and you said you weren't wasn't a juicer. So when I look at and I want you to tell me from what you've read, if we're thinking about like the benefit of celery, why not just eat the celery? What's
with a little peanut butter, a little cream cheese in the middle?
Like, aren't you losing the fiber and some of the nutritional values? And isn't it easier for your stomach to digest? Like, I was always like, the thought process was like, I'd rather eat the vegetable and the fruit than juice it.
I don't think that they have a problem with you eating it. I don't think you can eat enough to get 8 ounces, and they want you to have 8 ounces of the actual fluid.
How many stalks is 8 ounces?
I get a big get a big bunch of celery, and I cut it and clean it. And I probably can get 2 8-ounce glasses from one bigger like bunch of celery. So I'm going through a lot of celery.
Yeah.
It's just, you can't eat enough to get what your body needs. It's not a bad thing to eat it. And yes, you're right about the fiber, but it is the juice, believe it or not, as much of it is that it is of water. The salt is good salt. Mm-hmm. And I can't get into how many positive things it does.
It hydrates you and it takes down some inflammation. Right.
So you have to read about celery. It's not something that you can just start doing.
Yeah.
Because some doctors might say it's not for you. Mm-hmm. And if you're on a low sodium diet, you might not be able to do this. And don't think that you're hydrating yourself by drinking celery juice, even though it's giving you the good probiotics that you need. It's a complex conversation to have. I just wanted you guys to know it's a superfood to me because it's affordable. The masses can do it. If you can get 8 ounces in your body a day, I guarantee you it will only help you.
And just a disclaimer to all you, we are not doctors. We are not telling you to go juice, go take supplements. We are sharing our own personal stories and regimens, and maybe you can learn from that. But please check with your doctors and make your own decisions through that. And that's key because you can never listen to people are like, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. And then all of a sudden you're sick. Well, they told me to do that. No, this is just what works for me, because what works for me doesn't necessarily mean that it will work for you.
Well, and watch the fad, but just be careful to not hop on board like the latest trend or the latest fad. Watch different industries or different foods become like the latest, like food or fad or whatever. You know, acai was huge for a while. And everybody was like, you need to eat acai. We need to drink acai. And I'm sure there's tremendous value in acai. But
so good. And goji berries were famous.
It's great. And I'm sure celery is great for you. But just remember that this whole industry is also regulated by the FDA, which is very limited in their power. And any of these diets or supplements or vitamins can say is that it promotes or supports. They have no scientific basis that they can hang their hat on that says proving causality. So if it's going to make you feel better, if you're going to take a gummy every day and you're like, I can attribute this to making me feel better, then that's a win. That's a key for your health and well-being.
Well, it may
not be right for everybody.
Yeah. So I went into Monmouth Foods in Manasquan, and he's great, Jeff, who owns the shop. And I said, look, here's all my list of items. So some doctors, they don't really know, or they throw vitamins out there, but they're not necessarily in the vitamin business. And I said, I need to cut back on half of my vitamins. I'm sick of taking them. I'm over it, but I know I need to because my body feels better when I do. So we went through each one, and CoQ10, something I've been taking forever. There were 3 specific vitamins. They said, so these are great for you, but they're super spreader. They cause your body to, if you have a bad cancer in your cell, you're taking this vitamin, it will actually speed up the cancer cells in your body. So don't take it if there's anything that you had, because I had like a squamish cell and then I had another one. And I'm like, wait, why am I getting all these? And there were 3 vitamins that were helping other symptoms, but put my body on supersonic speed to actually not be beneficial for what I needed. So you really have to be careful.
Well, and
I would recommend getting labs done before you start doing things. Like,
of course, I had blood work done. I mean, this was
people don't. Most people say, "Oh gosh, they told me to like take vitamin C and go on B12 and do all these things," and then you just start swallowing these tablets. When I got my labs done, I saw that I was deficient in D, and they said you need to take 10,000 international units of vitamin D to get your levels up. And I was like, wow, I would never think that I would be deficient of D. I'm from Florida. I'm tan. I'm outside all the time. No. B12. Another thing when you're going through menopause or perimenopausal or whatever, B12 is very important. And I'm looking at my father who just got diagnosed with Parkinson's and who also has a little tiny bit of a dementia happening. This is something that supports brain function. So you really have to look at your levels and get educated and recognize where you're deficient and then start adding supplements. Don't just start, taking things. Okay, I'm losing muscle because I'm on Ozempic. So I'm going to start jamming myself with protein powders. This is a real thing. Now I see so many people trying to take protein because they're losing muscle mass. Make sure it's based on your individual levels.
Well,
yes, your blood work done.
Yeah.
That's also because we're in the immediate gratification society that we live in, where everybody just wants a pill to fix them or an injection to fix them or the next latest greatest procedure to fix them, and that's part of the problem. But dovetailing on what Darian said earlier with going into her local vitamin shop, and I believe that the same company owns Health Fair in Little Silver, 99%.
Oh, he might.
And
he's so educated.
Stallop. That
yes, that's him.
Produce that vitamin locally in Manasquan, New Jersey, and when you go into our local health fair, they are so knowledgeable.
Very.
You're like, I have this, I have that, and they do the disclaimer. They say, well, I would say do this or do that, but make sure you check with your doctor. Make sure that you're, if you're taking this, you need to take this with it. Like if you're taking a B, you should be taking a K. Things need to pair in order to get the benefit you need. And then the other reality is that a lot of the things that if your body is not in a place where it needs it or will absorb it, you'll release it anyway. It'll be pass through your urine, and a lot of the basic vitamins will
once the vaccine depleted a lot of vitamins out of people's bodies. So when you're going to 10,000 milligrams of D a day, that's what I'm on. And my sister's like, but you take that. You can't take that consistently. I can, because that's what the vax did. It sucks the vitamin D, and I won't get into the gory details of what they found in the cadavers, but some of these vitamins, it's attacking certain cells in your body. But you have to be careful if you're taking a multivitamin. Multivitamins also have D in them. So you have to calculate which multivitamin do I have. Like I do the Life Extension. I absolutely love it. I tried a different brand, didn't like it as much. And if I'm in the sun a lot and in the summer, I take it down just because I don't want to be on that much every day.
Right. But isn't D a hormone? Like, aren't they saying that like vitamin, because you guys sound like you're way more knowledgeable on the D than I am, but like, I thought D is like almost being classed as into being like a hormone more than even just a vitamin.
Well, D, I see farther.
It's crucial for women's health, particularly for bone health, due to its role in calcium absorption and bone maintenance. It also plays a role in the immune function, hormonal balance, and potentially reduces the risk of certain cancers and chronic diseases. It does everything. It is doing the heavy lifting in your body. And I just think that everybody really at 40, I would recommend at 40 that you get your labs done. I think we've said this in prior episodes, because truly when you start depleting, your body is already becoming a little bit injured. And then by default, you might start gaining weight, because if your cortisol levels are bad, it's fight or flight. It's holding on to fat. I can't educate you enough on how important it is to get your labs done.
Right.
I never would have thought that I would be vitamin D deficient. They basically said to me, that's why I blew up my ACL 2 years ago, because I was stressed and I was going through a very hard time in my life with regards to my mom, and my body was depleted across the board. And all of a sudden I blow out my ACL. And the very first thing that a very educated endocrinologist / blood specialist said to me, that happened because you had no vitamin D.
Right.
So it's everything.
Yeah. Well, and I did just look it up though, because I had a woman who was a holistic doctor that I was dealing with years ago, and she said it really is more of a hormone than a vitamin because it can be synthesized by the sun, so your body produces it, so it acts more like a hormone, which makes it even more critical to your health than a traditional vitamin. So vitamin D, for those of you that like think you can get out of your milk or get it just from the sun, to Farley's point, especially for women as we age, it may not be sufficient. Like you really should have your vitamin D checked for all the factors that she mentioned, because it does act in such a critical function for your overall health.
And magnesium is terrific.
Oh,
Magnesium is very important to take. You can take a certain magnesium in the morning and you can take them at night.
It helps you sleep. It helps keep you regular, but it also has a much bigger purpose.
Magnesium deficiency is associated with some serious cardiac arrhythmia and all-cause cardiovascular mortality. And it really helps with inflammation. It's good for the heart. It's almost like a wonder vitamin that I take. It helps you sleep. If you eat protein in the morning, your blood spike level is a fraction of what it would be if you ate a carb first. So always eat protein before a carbohydrate. Even if you take 2 pieces of bacon and then you eat a pancake, it keeps your blood sugar spike levels down.
And if you can remember that,
Blech.
celery, 8 ounces of celery juice first, because you're supposed to wake up and have a glass of celery juice before you even put water with lemon juice in it.
Yeah.
Coffee in your mouth. It gets complicated when you start really trying to figure things out. And I'm going to really get you guys confused, because the pre, the pro, and the postbiotics are also incredibly important. The prebiotic is now becoming such a huge thing. You look at, what's that soda that just came out that is a prebiotic soda?
Right. Please stop.
It's just
Loaded with sugar.
Yeah, well, now I understand. Now I understand who's producing things.
Well, Nestle came out with water, and it's the worst water you've ever had. It's like horrible tap water.
So probiotics are live beneficial microbes. The prebiotics are the food for these microbes. And the postbiotics are the beneficial compounds produced by the probiotics.
It is all supposed to happen in a regular gut that's healthy, that has not been polluted by everything.
Well, if you take
companies are giving us, but
so I take BioComplete 3, and it's produced by Gundry MD.
Oh, he's great.
I know.
I love him.
It comes in glass, and I keep it in my refrigerator because it's live active cultures. But it's the pre, the post, and the pro.
Right.
It's all in one.
You need the all-in-one, because it's too many pills to take in one day. But if you're on an antibiotic, always take a prebiotic, because your antibiotic takes all the cells out of your body, the good and the bad, and then the pre puts the good cells back in there. So it evens out the playing field, which we really like to do here.
And for those of you that are considering going on an antibiotic, make sure you've exhausted all of your natural resources first. I feel like that the at least when I was growing up with my children, the doctor would be so quick to give you an antibiotic for something that they didn't even know what they were giving an antibiotic for, because they felt like they needed to. Trying to let the body do what it needs to do by supplementing it with good, healthy ways of being.
Homeopathic.
Because the antibiotics, they cause a lot of issues. You have to mitigate a lot of the damage that they do. So don't be so quick to take a pill to fix a problem if you can find another way.
And what I take in the morning, which Jeff makes me every day, thank you, Jeff, is cachava. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's a plant-based food, all in one. There's 25 grams of plant protein, 85 grams of superfoods and nutrients. It's 26 vitamins and minerals, and 6 grams of fiber.
How does
it
taste?
It's delicious. It comes in vanilla, chocolate, chai, acai.
So it's a protein powder.
It's a protein powder, but it's plant-based. And Jeff, when he was training for Ironman, he'd make a shake and he'd put the greens. And there were 5 different items and that he was putting into one smoothie. And then we discovered cachava, and it tastes delicious and you feel great when you eat it. And once again, with my eat protein in the morning before you eat a carbohydrate to not have the blood sugar spike immediately, that's what you want to do. And we mix it with different fruits.
Yogurt?
You can put some vegetables. No, just some fruits. If he's training hard, he'll put creatine in it. We put water. Yeah, you put water. You can put coconut water if you want in there. And Dee Dee loves it. And we make it every day. You could only buy it online before, and then they give you $5 off for each bag that gets delivered. And now you can get it at Target. Okay. So you can go to Target and check it out. And we've tried a lot of different protein powders. And for us, for the women right now, my physical therapist said, you have to eat like 50 grams of protein a day. You need so much protein to feed your muscles at our age, and they're getting depleted. So right there, you have 26 grams of protein. You could even do a shake in the afternoon if you want. But
my husband is doing lineage. Oh, it is beef protein and organs with a fruit and maple flavor. And he is doing
that sounds so foul.
I know, but like I'm a carnivore too, and I married a carnivore, so I get it. But he is doing this radical type of reset, and it's a diet, and it's his new way of life, which is not fun for me. And it's just eating meat and vegetables, no carbs. Like really, he does not do potatoes or rice or pastas, and it's just simple Simon meat and more meat and meat.
Well, yeah, that's all the inflammatory
and he lost
foods.
A lot of weight. I mean, in a very short amount of time, but guys do, like he is somebody that can just change things up a little bit. And
guys can do that. They can just, okay, I'm not going to eat that. Wait, I can't do that. I need to keep eating. There's a lot of anti-inflammatory foods. Avocados are super inflammatory. Ripe bananas are really not good for inflammation because that's all I do is figure out what I can eat to fight the inflammation in my body. And there's lists of foods that you would be blown away that have a great benefit. If you eat an avocado, it's great for your skin and for your hair, but it causes inflammation. So you have to figure out what fruits and vegetables are out there that are actually good for your body to throw into your smoothie. Pineapples are inflammation.
That reminds me of the Mediterranean diet, though, or like when you find these blue zones that they saw are so like popular that they've become so healthy because they're eating the food that their ancestors made. The inflammation that we suffer from, we have all these foods that I should not be genetically eating only because it's not my heritage. My body was not designed to eat pineapples and avocados. We've imported so many things over like my lifetime that were seasonal that you couldn't get, that maybe shouldn't have introduced to your diet. I look at feeding my dog, who I love, and I feed him a really great meal. He eats the same thing every day. I introduce a couple of little things to him. I give him what he needs. And like he takes and glucosamine because he's aging. Like I don't change up his diet with all these crazy things. Look at how many different things we eat. And I think that's part of the problem. I really do. I think part of the problem is we have too much variety in our diet and our bodies are like, what the hell? Add every other environmental factor in there. And I think our bodies are like, what is happening? I really do.
Because we can get anything we want whenever we want it.
Immediate gratification society.
Chip sauce and guac. So good.
Can't say I don't love all of it.
Let's talk about detoxing here because there are so many different ways that you can detox, that you can buy all different types of detoxing programs online. They can be in pill form. You can do teas. You can take pills. You can do a lot of different things. But I'm going to give you a short list of what to do at home so that you don't actually have to go out and purchase a detoxification plan. Quick way to detox. Number 1, limit alcohol. Number 2, focus on your sleep. Sleep is so important. I'm realizing that I like to sleep more in my age of my current being because it's comfy and I crave it. Listen to your body. It craves what it needs. 3, drink more water. That's another thing that we all need to do. You can drink stuff all day long, but if you're not just drinking water, add water to your regular routine.
Not in a plastic bottle.
Yeah. Number 4, reduce your intake of sugar and processed foods. This is what we all know is a problem, but really pay attention to labels and what you're putting into the things that you're making. Antioxidant rich foods. This is what Darian was just talking about. Your body naturally produces these molecules for cellular processes such as digestion. However, alcohol, tobacco, smoke, a low nutrition diet and exposure to pollutants can cause and produce excessive free radicals. So that's why we need to eat a lot of antioxidant rich foods.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Avocados, berries.
Goji berries are really great. Yeah, blueberries are the best fruit for you.
Oh, some examples, by the way. that include vitamin A, C, and E, selenium, lycopene, luteins, cocoa, veggies, spices. Beverages like coffee and green tea have some of the highest amounts of antioxidants. Green tea, they said if you can incorporate a cup of green tea a day, medicinal benefits that are plentiful. Eat foods high in prebiotics. And you don't have to take your prebiotics, which was what Jen said earlier.
Yes.
And that will help your gut health. Decrease salt intake. We all love salt. It's a hard thing. It makes food taste better. But excessive salt intake can lead to several noticeable signs, including increased thirst, fluid retention caused by bloating, swelling, and potentially affecting blood pressure. Other potential signs include heart palpitations, headache, and even cognitive difficulties.
Should go out and exercise is what you need to do.
And that is number 8.
Yeah, that's
exercise.
Eat well.
Lifestyle.
Drink some red wine if you need to. Exercise. Do the research. Get your blood work done. You'll live a long, holy, healthy, happy life.
Yeah. We hope
We
you
hope.
do. We hope you do. Try and live your best life.
Stay away from
Don't
fads.
stress out. Don't stress out about all this information. Do what you can.
Yeah.
If it sounds too good to be true, it
Usually
probably
is.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, but as we get older, we do need to supplement. It's a fact. I would never have thought that I needed to supplement. I'm not a vitamin taker. As I said, I'm not a juicer. I have been naturally blessed with health. And now I'm recognizing, along with my family members, got a child that definitely needs to supplement right now because we found out some things from an endocrinologist. Be aware. Don't wait until all of a sudden your body starts to break down. Be informed about your body in the now so that you can stop it from breaking down. And that means lab work.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that the food had so much better nutritional value years ago. My mom is 87 and never taken a vitamin in her life. She goes to the dentist, doesn't get Novocaine. I mean, she's gnarly. She takes an Aleve and that's it. And she's dancing on bars. So we need to substitute vitamins for our eating. All right. Well, ladies, this has been super educational and it's refreshing my mind to wake up, have a healthy meal, go out and exercise and enjoy the day. All right, Jen, who's our Got Grit winner for this Holy Week?
On this Holy Thursday, we're so honored to commemorate Carlo Acutis. He is God's influencer and really has galvanized the teen movement to be back into our religious and spiritual way of being. He was already beatified and is now being canonized on April 27th of this year. So if you're not familiar with this story, take a look at it because for Easter week, I couldn't pick a more important figure to bring us together and galvanize the teens who could really use a lot more God in their life.
And there's already 2 miracles that have been performed in his name that have led to his canonization. So if you have a problem, you can pray to him.
I love that one, Jen.
As a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Nice to have a millennial saint.
I love it.
So
Google him if you haven't seen his face and look at the prayer to Carlo.
And we'll put a link in our bio and our story to this story because we talked about it. It's not getting enough play here in the United States. It is happening in Italy. So take a look at it. So far, what inspirational song do you have for us this beautiful Thursday?
Well, I referenced it a little bit earlier because home to me, home is where the heart is. And I have been missing my child. He's in Australia, and I know that she is missing her home as well. So I'm going to read some lyrics to you. You'll always be my home, my heart. I'll be with you wherever you are. My home, my heart. I feel you with me when we're worlds apart. You'll always be my home. And that's the name of, well, I don't want to give it up.
My home.
But I'll tell you.
And who sings that song, Carly? Because I wasn't familiar with that song.
Oh, this is Miles.
I love the lyric.
Well, honestly, it can be kind of interpreted the way that you would like it interpreted because it could be about a great love. It could be about the people that make up your home, whether it's your friends, your family, whoever it is. It just interpret it the way that you hear it. But it is by Miles Smith. And it's called My Home. And I love everything that he sings. He makes you think about everything that's important to you.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing.
Well, ladies, this has been an informative episode. We're super excited every week to come to you, sharing our stories and our experiences and looking forward to the next episode. And please tune in. I hear that trademark. trademarking might be on the table.
Think we're going to talk about copywriting, putting a label on it, and the marketing genius of the current business owner.
We've got 3 trademarks going on right about this second for Got Grit and Girls Gone Gritty. So we're going to explain the whole process to you.
All right. Happy Easter, everyone. And just enjoy the day.
Replenish and ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Yes.
And enjoy that family, that beautiful time you have with the people you love, surrounding yourself with family and friends.
And friends. Far, we're going to be ripping it up. Whoop, whoop.
I hope I find the golden egg.
There we go. Go.
Peace out.